back up at the Sapphire mine. Didn't think we'd be making a second trip up, but it caught fire. And the thought of coming and seeing it just left me too curious. So we dropped everything. This is the last weekend the roads are open. We're coming up here so that I can have a look. Apparently, when Mom and Dad got up to shut the mine down this year, they could see the road was awful well traveled, but the gate hadn't been cut or torn out. So they were curious, and to get to the bottom they smell smoke, and then to get to the drag line and everything is burned up. It's out now, and Mom and Dad, big Mom and Dad, they asked the fire crew if they wanted to hunt for sapphires. So apparently an entire fire crew from Pennsylvania spent the remainder of the evening digging for sapphires on the claim and had a great time. But I know that I'm curious to see what it looks like when we get down in here. Since the fire was put out, there's probably been close to an inch of rain that's come down. So today is Saturday, and the fire probably started last Sunday. They hit it hard Monday. Mom and Dad got up here Tuesday, and by then they were just mopping up. We'll see. So we've reached the bottom of our mine road, and we're back onto the Cornish Gulch Road. So this linked Montgomery Gulch to Cornish Gulch. And apparently the firefighters, when they looked at the map, our road doesn't show up on any maps. And they got quite nervous because they thought they were heading about 6 miles up a dead-end, highly timbered death trap of a draw. But when Dad was talking to the incident commander, he had sent somebody out to find out what the end of the road looked like, see if they could burn off a safe zone if you know, the chips hit the fan. And that's when they found our road. So they were actually quite happy. We were able to attack the fire from the top and bottom, and everybody had an escape route. That's something we're gonna bring up to the Forest Service and maybe recommend that maybe they should take over this road, put it back on the maps, and run a road grader down it, you know, once in a while. Boy, it really did come down the hill on a narrow little finger, didn't it? Hand chopped fire line.
Oh.
Wow, it's gone.
Yeah, this is possibly whole. Was. It's possibly
It
be
could
put
be.
back together.
It's all gone.
There's where the logs were here. That's all that's left of it. The outer edge of the cabin. And when we came, it was solid trucks from right there, right down around through this curve, all the way to there. There were like 8 crew cabs.
Oh, hey, Shay, did you see this?
Pick. Pick.
Ow!
You think that's
Idiot!
Yep, she is.
That I would have never found on my own.
No, you got with metal detector maybe. Oh, there's the handle to the stove.
Yep.
Oh, everybody was so lucky. There was no wind. No wind at all when this went through. I think this was the outhouse.
This is our trommel, and it greatly speeds up the processing of dirt. You'll notice how small everything is. Well, we are small miners and have the small miner exemption. Well, that dramatically limits how much horsepower our equipment can have. The way we do it is using electric. So there is a generator, a small one running, and then we turn small electric motors. So our total horsepower remains below the limits.
Quite a bit of small gravel.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of dirt in there.
Down in the bottom here is where, the Sapphire mines in the 50s through early 80s had their sluicing operation. You can see stacks of it over there. And it's where the stuff we dig stones came from. Their waste pile. Still haven't really found the virgin soil. It might not exist anymore given over a century of mining for it. Huh. Down here by the creek, you can hear the machines running a little farther up the hill there. And we're taking advantage of that fire burn scar to prospect stuff that would have been a pain in the butt to have chopped your way through all the brush and get down. And so we're taking a little bit of advantage of that and doing some prospecting. This is the third pan of gravel out of the concentrator. In the first one, there was a bit of molten lead and about a 0.7 carat, almost water clear sapphire. Second pan, there's 2 big chunks of galena, and this is a third one. Gravel is a completely different color than our traditional spot, which is downstream, I don't know, 100 yards or so, which is a gray. And this is a tan and red. I find that fascinating. I don't actually know what it means. So now that this is soaked for a bit, I'm going to get her panned out, find out if there's any heavy things in the bottom. Oh, in the last pan, while I didn't find any sapphires, I did find a speck of gold. Not enough to do anything with, but a speck of gold. Here's some results. I mean, it would be pretty darn rare to have ever found, sapphires in one tiny pan worth. But I've got 2 pieces of galena, and I doubt the camera will pick it up, but 1 small speck of gold. The downside of this fire gravel is it is very dirty.
This is the wash trommel, and it cleans our stones. So as you'll see later, the specific gravity or water pulse concentrator uses the relationships between the specific gravity of the stones and the surrounding gravel to concentrate them. And if you have thick water, you've changed that relationship, you start to lose stones. It's got to be clean. You got to change the water out fairly frequently. But it'll take 2 or 3 5-gallon buckets down to about a half gallon or so, which is way faster than doing it all by hand.
Sounds like rain, it's just dead pine needles. So I'm up considerably above the claim in what looks like one of the hotter areas of the fire. Best of our knowledge, there's no point in claiming up the sides of the hills. It's not where the stones are. I admit I've never actually walked this part. I'm gonna go up there, and there's something going on over there, so I'll go up and circle back. Boy, those folks chopped an awful lot of hand fire line. 3 trucks drove past while we were washing. 2 crew trucks and a water tender. but I don't see or hear them. So no chance of asking them any questions. Looks like it just spotted sort of out into there, although that looks pretty torched. Look at this massive double fir here. She's already gone all brown. Fire barely got to it. I thought that's what the firs were famous for, is sort of their ability to withstand fire. Oh, maybe it's not dead yet. Sure seems like a lot of work to put all those needles back. And that one, similar situation, completely unchanged. That's a big tree. For this part of the world, that's a big, big tree. There is no signs of any mining, no cabins, no mule trails, no nothing. No signs of any of that. I've been through here. But you can see it was thick. This wind had been blowing. This fire would be on your news. Pretty much no matter where you lived, this fire would have been on your news. But the wind wasn't blowing, and those guys kicked some ass. Well, no one wishes for fire, but there's a part of me who was like, why couldn't you burn that bit down over there where we can't get the trucks and sifters and shakers in because the trees are so thick? Why'd you burn down over there? Not up here on the pretty hill with the big trees. Very angular. There's not a lot of gravel in it. So we've never known there to be anything up these hills. We've come never this high up, but so there's my pickup through the trees right there. Never come this high up. Nonetheless, there's nothing here that would scream stones at you. This is what we mean by it being impenetrable. This is kind of what it looked like through there before it burned. It's why that fire would have been massive.
Okay, so just here, it's filled the hopper up and we're starting to pass gravel at the speed we normally would. So the gravel comes down from where I'm playing with it, where the water is, and passes down underneath the bar. And in order to work its way out, it has to move across this pulsating basket. And the heavier stones, the same way that heavy things always fall to the bottom, the heavier stones work their way down to the bottom screen, where they are then trapped. And then we can just mostly discard the top gravel. The water in this thing is a little dirty. We're not bad yet, but again, specific gravity concentrator. If you change the viscosity, you change everything. I do apologize again. Like I said at the beginning, by the end of this trip, we had found the virgin soil, and it's been over a decade of effort on the part of a lot of people. I'm not going to show it. That's not the virgin material. This is some stuff from some other places. It's very high stones, but it's got a lot of debris, and it's got a lot of galena, which really gums up the works. But I'm not even going to show you the gravel from that place. Not yet. I you have my apologies, but there was simply too much that went into locating it. We're not ready to give it up yet. So we take the concentration out of the basket. It's gone into a regular, hand concentrator, which is a small screen, and you do your rocking motion back and forth and bounce it up and down, and that then centers the heavies that the big specific gravity concentrator centered in the basket. And here it is. You can see that black in the middle, that's a pile of galena. It's lead ore. It's quite heavy. In this picture, I'm about to pick out a nail and use it to poke at sapphires. This is an awful lot of galena, and that extra weight in the bottom of the basket forced the machine to struggle. Actually caused us to lose a few stones. It's not that big a deal. We just run the gravel a second time. We usually do anyways. We're kind of greedy like that. Don't want to miss anything.
Here's a stone. There's two right there.
There's a third one.
Another one there. Looks like another one right there.
What are you putting it in there?
One right there. I don't know. It just migrated down.
You made it migrate, Dad. Stop messing with the nails.
Not very attractive, are they?
Give it a chance, Dad. Some of them are very attractive. Some of them aren't. I see another stone. I actually see two stones. No. Don't you be moving.
Well, if you don't want to go for quality.
But it's a big one.
Red thing right there.
One right there.
Right where it should be.
Oh, shot out. Be careful.
And it beat out galena.
You're standing in the sun, Dad.
Well, that's okay. There's a huge one. Look at that monster. My word, Ken.
Wow.
That's a few carrots, huh?
And it's yellow. Well, kind of a couple of colors.
Well, good, because so far there haven't been any big ones. Well, we're looking for the one they dropped.
It's down in there. It just went down below you. There's one you kicked it out of the way too. Right there's one.
I bet we're looking for a couple that they
You
dropped.
should put less rock in here. Make it easier for you.
Well, they'll have to have it centered a few times.
Look, Dad. See, there's just two sapphires just sitting underneath.
Sometimes they can get underneath of the galena. I know there's another sapphire right about there, straight down. There it is, green.
That's a copper nail.
Yeah, we found copper nails too.
I find the
And
copper
steel
nails.
nails.
Ooh, I just pulled out two. I just pulled out another one when I was trying to go after another one.
Yeah.
On accident.
Those don't do the machine any good.
Yeah, it's the final day for us up here of the season. And that means prospecting. Each and every year, everybody has to go and eliminate spots where they know the stones are not. So, the idea here is the drag line, which is over there, was coming and preparing to process this. So they dug a new stream channel, piled it here. We know they hauled all their dirt down the hill in a dump truck. This is a pile of dirt that's still here. Seems weird that a professional miner would have left good dirt behind. Now we'll know for sure. I've dug down through the dirt and I've hit the layer of peat moss. This whole thing is a peat swamp. So I hit the layer of peat moss. And to be honest, the gravel looked really good, but I didn't see anything in it. We'll know once it's washed and concentrated. And supposedly this is the dividing line. Our claim ends right in through here somewhere, and then it starts the next one. I can't even begin to tell you how much I'd love to have that at my place. I'd stick it up on top of that hill with that big boom hanging out. Hang us an American flag off of it. Christmas tree on the top of it in the winter time. I haven't looked at it closely in a few years. It's just a tractor engine. I think it's a McCormick in there now. Anything would work. Tractor engine, and then attached to the PTO shaft is the winch. So you certainly could repower it, but they won't let us take it now.
I do apologize for the somewhat choppy nature of this video, but in the end, due to the luck of the innocents, I suppose, on that final day, this here final day, although unknown to us quite yet because we hadn't concentrated the gravel, Shay found virgin soil. So that tailings pile we've traditionally shown you when we're mining, that would average, say 4 to maybe 7 carats of stone out of every 4 or 5 gallons of shaken gravel. We had a unique spot where that average will go up to like 30, 45 carats of stone, but it was very, very limited, and the stones were very, very low quality, and it's unimportant. But on this day, again, didn't know it quite yet, Shay had actually found virgin soil, and his average there would be somewhere in the 12 to 15 carats per 5 gallons, or 3 to 4 times better than what we're used to. And I'm sorry, but you'll just have to forgive me. After over a decade of searching, I just really wasn't willing to show it or any identifying features on camera. I do apologize. However, someone in Phillipsburg was recently busted with a whole bunch of stolen gravel, probably from Jim Mountain's claims. We never saw any holes in our claims, but we're just not going to open the door that way. So again, I do apologize. This video is mostly about showing the Sapphire mine and the burn scars, and I had great aspirations and a lot of other footage, but I'm going to keep it in my back pocket. Thanks for watching.